Hi, Palak. I'm good. I'm not able to hear your voice. Are
Hi,
you on
sir.
mute? Hi.
Hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
So, should we start?
Yes.
Okay. So, hello everybody. My name is Palak Bareja, and today Rayy Foundation is in conversation with the founder of one of its collaborators, DSPIN, Mr. Pankaj Dubey, and we will be having a conversation on the topic poverty and illiteracy, the very two things that Ray's Foundation stands for. So, Sir is a TEDx speaker and a motivational speaker who was awarded the most influential marketing leader award by World Marketing Congress in Mumbai in 2017 and was featured in the Black Book Indian Most Powerful Men in Luxury in 2015 and 2016. Sir is also a recipient of Top 50 Indian Icon 2016, an award by M4U Entertainment. So, to start with today's topics, so Rayy Foundation wanted to know your opinions on how do you think poverty and illiteracy form a vicious cycle, and what are the ways in which we can break this cycle?
Yeah, I think the challenge is very big, but at the same time, the efforts have to be made in that direction, and certainly some results would come in. But I would say that the real challenge is how to get the illiteracy removed, because the root cause of all these issues is, I'm sorry, the cat is here, my cat is here, so it might be. So the root cause of all these is the illiteracy amongst the masses, and also the new education system, which has been a real challenge, because the education system that we are currently been using for the last few decades are it's like mugging up and then reproducing everything. So it doesn't have the kind of a system where you get what you are adept at, what you are good at, and then you grow into that field, and that make you successful in the field that you are interested in. So basically, we all understand that if you want to really grow in life, what is required is that you do work that you enjoy. So now the so that's where the real cause is, that if you can identify that how and what can be done in order to improve the education system, so that more and more people take pride in what they learn. And there is so we'll discuss in detail further to this, that how and what can be done.
Totally. So, that people are aware of the ways and methods in which, we can eradicate poverty. And, it's all theory. We know what is to be done and what should not be done. But not all rural areas, not all governments have the resources to provide education. So, what are the ground level solutions that can be taken? What are the practical solutions that can be taken by the government and the society as a whole to solve the problem of illiteracy? What methods can
See,
the government adopt? What can we do?
yeah, I think number one, Palak, is that the solution has to be found a education system which is really good, which actually realizes the potential of an individual and gives them the expertise and skill sets in that field only. So if I reflect the education system that we have had in the country, which was called Gurukul system, that was a system which was very evolved system, very advanced, and used to focus exactly on this, that individuals who do very well in life, they go to the Gurukul, they learn the basics of all subjects, and then depending upon the interest, their expertise is defined, and then they grow into that. Suppose an individual has a lot of interest in engineering, so he accepts the field of engineering. Somebody who is very good at medical, then he goes into the surgery or medical field, and likewise the other. So that then for a society to grow, everything is very important. Like even you need a carpenter, you need a mason, you need repairs of electronic equipment. So you don't need everybody to become engineers or doctors only. So there's a whole lot of ecosystem where you can specialize and you can really do well in life. And that is what the original our Gurukul system was, where there was no system of negativity. Like you have studied, you have your skill set, and you grow into that particular field only. There's nothing, there was no pass and fail, there were no examinations in those times. And therefore, which is now Government of India is also adopting, like till class 5th, there'll be no examination, and then slowly they will move up, I think. So what it does is that if you talk to some of the people in the rural India and you say, "Aapne education kari hai?" They say, "Yes, I have done." Till what? I've studied till 3rd, I've studied till 5th. Why? Because they failed. And then their motivation went down. Whereas there is no need for a person to fail. I mean, you can just say that, okay, he doesn't have the aptitude for studying physics and chemistry and biology, but maybe he's interested in history, maybe he's interested in philosophy, maybe he's not interested in any of them, but he's interested in certain specialization of his skill sets, like just, for example, carpentry. So you can just enroll the course, grow him, and you identify. So a very similar system has been adopted in Malaysia. I went there and studied that. So what they do is that they do exactly the same way. They have the education system, and after every, I think, few years, they evaluate the candidate, and depending upon the interest and depending upon the specialization that the candidate wants, they divert the student to the stream which he is excelling and is doing well. And therefore, it grows. So something like that. It's not necessary that every Indian should be able to speak English and should be able to understand all the technologies. Then only he will be called as literate. Literate is like, so we have to really redefine the entire education system, and we have to give pride. Whatever you do, if you feel happy, then you will do well. If I give you a feeling that you are not good at, like even if you take up an assignment in the corporate world and everybody starts telling you you are very bad, you are not doing good. So what will happen is that you will start believing after some time that I'm not good at, and your performance will go down. And that is why, motivation and all these human resource development does that, so that you can keep giving guidance to the individual so that you extract the maximum potential of the candidate. So that is where the education system has actually disaligned itself. It's gone into a different structure where you have to really reproduce of what you have read. Whereas in today's time, anything that you want, I mean, it's available on Google. So you want to search for anything, just go and search and you'll get to information. So at this point of time, you don't need to mug up like 10 subjects and 12 subjects and reproduce exactly the way that it is written in the book. You should have your own opinion. You should write it in a way that, so we should respect people who write their own viewpoints on any particular topic rather than just reproducing exactly. So this is where I see the education system and the practical aspects of the life are differing. And we all know that we have gone through this education system. We have passed all these board exams and then going to education, physics, chemistry, biology, and mathematics, everything. But when we go to the job in the corporate world, or even in any work as an entrepreneur, there are very few things that you actually use from there. So those are basic knowledge is fine, but then the relevance in your field. So I'm an entrepreneur, so I should have the knowledge of what is required in my field, rather than I become an expert into a microbiology or biotechnology. So those are things that if I want to specialize, I really want to grow research, then I am inclined towards that, and my mind is very interested, keen in that, I do that. So this is where I think there is a disconnect. So the system has to be redefined completely. I know it's a very challenging job and it can't be done in one go, but then the thought process has to start, and in a way it's already started. I see some good change in the new education policy that has come. So I think the movement is started in that direction, and that is what is needed for people to get education system or recognition and grow in life and do study the field that they are really interested in.
Totally. Even I feel that now the focus should shift from theory to practical. Everything should become research based, because as long as we are just reading books, we are restricted to books. There is nothing beyond that we are
Yeah.
learning. So yeah, even I totally agree with you. And my next question was along these lines, that what are the immediate changes, like something that can we not do without, like the immediate changes that can be brought in the current education system and the value system, so that things go smoother in the society.
I think what is very critical and important is that the current education system has to undergo a change. But meanwhile, we have to identify all those people who in the current education system are being, are being told that you are not good enough in this area. We have to identify that dropout which is happening. Like suppose we know that in the schools till class 12th or class 10th, they're like 80% or 70% of the people go to the school. But after 10th, it drops down to 60. Then after 12th, it drops down to 50. And then the graduation level, it comes down to 40, 45. So I'm just giving you hypothetical figures. I don't have the exact figures, but it should be something on the similar lines. And when you go to the post-graduation, similar thing happens that only 30% or 40% are doing post-graduation. And then you go to the research work, there again, it drops down to 5% or 10%. Now, where are these people going? Like in class 10th, when 30% of students are going, what are they going to do? That is where the government has to make systems, make education system or diplomas or skill certificates, and identify the critical areas which is required for the country. And above all, we have to respect all these professions. We can't say that you are a dropout of class 10th and therefore you are doing something which is very menial and therefore you failed and therefore we are giving you this option. This is what you should do. You should treat it with respect. I have seen, Palak, that when we go to international locations outside India, how much respect is given to these small, which is considered small in India, professions. Like if you go to any part of the world, the drivers are really respected a lot. And you are told that, I mean, you have to give him, and when you talk to the driver, you really feel like, yeah, he's highly educated, highly technical, and he knows his job very well. Same thing is like, I'll give you an example. I was working with a multinational company, a Fortune 500 company, and the HR head of the person was sitting next to me, and I was talking to her, and I just asked her about her family. And she said, I asked her, what's your husband does? And she said, my husband is a carpenter. Now, if I just to say that if I say that my wife is a carpenter, people will laugh in India. So why the respect is not there? But this is not what it is. This is not what India is. Like if I go back some centuries back, every profession was really respected in India. And this is what is internationally happening. And now India is to catch up with that. So we have to go to the roots to know that carpentry is required, painting job is required, and we have to respect those people. And we have to get a specialization of that. Anything can be done, like even fixing up a small electrical equipment or fixing up the plumbing job at your house requires a specialization now. So that specialization needs to be provided to these candidates. Option should be provided. Okay, what would you do enjoying it? What do you think is a good thing? And that is where, filtration, the support system, the support education system has to come in, where anybody who moves out has to be really absorbed and given certain certificates, certain specialization, and depending upon the interest that these candidates have. So we have to start right from the school level and build it up to the university, post-graduation, and research. And any country or any part of the world, if they really want to grow, the investments on research and development has to be very high. What is new that you are developing? And that is where India also has to focus. Unless and until we focus on to that part, we can do the mundane things, routine things, but we'll never be able to grow much. What is the new technology going to come if people start spending there? So our effort has to be to identify people who are really specialists, who wants to do research only. Like if I tell you that, you have to choose between becoming a CEO of a company, or a marketing head of a company, or a sales head of a company, or a corporate communication head of the company, to that of becoming like a research scholar. I asked this question to say 100 people, probably 99 would say I would go in for these jobs rather than getting into research scholar. Why? Because again, the respect is not that much. We should respect them more. The scientists, they spend their life studying something and then they bring out certain solutions. And so the respect to them have to be very high. And that is what I think the entire mechanism of education has to recognize these facts. That, I mean, we have to encourage people to get into research. We should find out a way that they get supported. We should find out ways where government supports them. We should find ways where private sector should come in and support them. But the core sectors are research and development. Core sector is that every Indian should be respected, and the education system has to be such that it is designed in a way that you extract the best out of every individual. We all know that everybody is gifted. We have seen people who have no hands, no legs, also specialize into certain things. So we know that everybody is gifted. Now we have to just identify and make a system which respects the individual's capabilities, rather than making a structure to say that everybody has to fill in this, and who doesn't fit into this is a failure. So that's the stigma of failure should be removed completely, and that should be the immediate effort and policy, and committees and all these should be formed, I think, right now, where we can work on this.
True. So we spoke about the government, we spoke about what the society can do. As NGOs, as small NGOs that are functioning remotely, what do you think can be done by us on our level to help combat this problem?
See, number one, we have to, whatever steps that we do is good enough. Like if I give you an example of, when Ramayan was being, like Ramchandraji was in at the verge of India in Rameshwaram near somewhere, and he was supposed to cross, and they were building Ram Setu. So everybody was supposed to, who is going to make Ram Setu? And so Angad and so all these people went together and they made a stone which can float, and all of that was built. There's a story of a Gilhari, that Gilhari was like a very small, you can't lift any stone. But what she did was that she would taking up some sand and go to the sea and leave that sand and again come back. So somebody said, what efforts are you doing? This is not going to give you any result at all. I mean, they have to build bridge on the sea and you are just dropping some sand particles. So this Gilhari gave a very interesting answer. And she said, I know it may or may not impact, but at least I'll have the courage to tell the world that I also contributed something. So I would say that NGOs, though it may appear to be very staggering task, that I mean, when we have to do something like this, some big task where government has to come in, big changes have to come, what will one NGO do? Yeah. But whatever little efforts that an NGO is doing is commendable, and that is what we should appreciate. Okay, I did this only. So educate, even if it means that what you're doing right now, interacting with key people and then identifying what needs to be done, and then sharing that with the right kind of policy makers, that, okay, if you do this, this is going to help. Make a note, we share it with the media that, okay, this is what needs to be done in order for the country to grow and for the illiteracy to go off, and share with the policy makers. Even if we do it in one state, you can do it nationally at a central level, very good. But even if we do it one state, one city, make the administration know, share this with the education minister of the country, education minister of the state, to say, okay, let's make a model and do something like that. And at the same time, whatever area that you've defined, like you all started in Lucknow and did very good work in whatever small way. So go to these people who are below poverty level and identify them. Even if we say that, even if we're able to get 10 people new jobs or 5 people new jobs through our connections, at least we should make continuous efforts towards that. And that is where, just imagine that if all the NGOs start thinking about it in the same way, every city has one team which is working towards this. how big impact that can create. So a small effort by anyone and everyone should be done in this field, whether it is to share these great things that are required for the country, or go to the policymakers to see the changes. These are all little appear as if we are just telling other person, you do this, and we are sitting. No, we are doing our job by just educating that this is the critical area, and unless and until this is done, major achievements will not happen. But at the same time, we are making this effort. So we are going to these small town where you're going and educating these people to be literate enough to at least communicate. When they go to a corporate, they can at least know that what they should say, what they should not say. Even if you just prepare them for the interview, that what are the basic things, just prepare that. Or you can have, there are people, manpower suppliers in the country who are not just supplying in India, internationally also available. So we can identify these people, and if we can just get few people the right kind of a job, and so they start earning. So illiteracy would get over if every person who is there in the society, in the country, they start doing some efforts to contribute to the economy, whether they do it directly or indirectly. Not that everybody has to land and get a job. Maybe we can identify a few people that, okay, you can't get a job, but you are very good at, say, any craft. And so we will be able to market your products. So just show what your specialist has, and we start grooming them into developing or connecting them to a right kind of a marketing team where they can buy these products from them and sell. So those are things, small things. And I think you all have done very good work in Lucknow area. That's I come to know about it. So maybe you can just focus onto those areas. And what is more important, I think, Palak, is to share even a small achievement. Even that effort of delivery should be appreciated because the will was there and she wanted to contribute. So, but we as a team have to make continuous effort. Whatever little knowledge that we have, whatever little connect that we have, we utilize it. And whatever steps that we are taking, we keep sharing. We are doing this and encourage more and more people to do it all over the place.
True. So with this, we come to the end of the session. Thank you so much, sir. Do you have any parting thoughts to share before we end the interview?
No, thanks a lot, Palak. It was great talking to you. I mean, you all are the youth who want to make the difference to the country, and that is what we require, the next generation, to really think in this fashion, that it's not just about you, but it's about making a major contribution to the country. So I really appreciate the work that Rayy Foundation is doing, and the kind of initiative that you are doing. And no step, nothing is small. I mean, whatever you are doing, like I said, in the education system, you have to identify the capability of the individual. So we have to identify at Rayy Foundation what capability we have. Let's do that part only, and we do more and more of that. More, I think organizations would follow us and copy us or do in their cities, and our objective will get achieved through these methods.
True. Thank you so
much. I'm proud of the team.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank
you.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.